St. Anthony Audio presents The Circumcision of Our Lord from the Golden Legend, Lives of the Saints. There are 4 reasons which make the day of the circumcision of the Lord an important and solemn feast. Firstly, this day is the octave of the Nativity. This feast, which is one of the greatest in the Church's year, has no proper octave, for the octaves of the death of the saints signify that they, after their death, are reborn to a new life, whereas the birth of our Lord does not permit an octave, since it was followed by his passion and death. Likewise, neither the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin, nor that of St. John the Baptist, nor Easter has an octave. This last feast indeed itself celebrates the resurrection. These feast days have only what we may call complementary octaves, during which we fill out the celebration of the feasts themselves. The Feast of the Circumcision is in this sense the octave of the Nativity. Secondly, the circumcision recalls to us the conferring of a new name upon the Lord for our salvation. We should remember that our Lord has 3 names. He was called Son of God, Christ, and Jesus. The name Son of God belongs to him as God. Christ belongs to him as man, and Jesus as God made man. Thirdly, the circumcision celebrates the first shedding of Christ's blood for men. As we know, Christ shed his blood 5 times for us. First, in the circumcision, and this was the beginning of our redemption. Then, while he was in prayer in the Garden of Olives, and this was a testimony of his desire of our redemption. Then in the scourging, and this merited our redemption. Then in the crucifixion, and this was the price of our redemption. And finally, when his side was opened with a lance, and this was the sacrament of our redemption. Fourthly, the Feast of the Circumcision honors our Lord's circumcision itself. He had several reasons for allowing himself to be circumcised. He wished to show that he had really taken human form, for blood can come forth only from a real body. He also wished to show us that we too should accept spiritual circumcision. That is, we should apply ourselves to the work of our purification. Again, the Lord allowed himself to be circumcised in order to take away from the Jews any excuse for their actions toward him. For if he had not been circumcised, they could have said to him, "We did not receive thee, because thou wert different from our fathers." Lastly, our Lord wished to show that the law of Moses was holy, for he had come not to destroy the law, but to complete and to fulfill it. As to the sacred flesh of the Lord's circumcision, it is said that an angel carried it to Charlemagne, who solemnly enshrined it at Aix-la-Chapelle, in the Church of Our Lady. And it is said that at present it is in Rome, in the church which is called the Holy of Holies, wherefore a pilgrimage is made to that church on this day. Finally, we may call to mind that in the past, the pagans practiced all sorts of superstitious rites on the first day of the year. The Christians were hard put to it to uproot these superstitions. St. Augustine speaks of them in one of his sermons. These pagans had taken for their god a certain figure called Janus, whom they represented as having 2 faces, one turned toward the past year, and the other toward the coming year, and it was he whom they honored on this day. They also had the custom of disguising themselves in the shapes of monsters. Some put on the skins of beasts. There were even some men who felt no shame in clothing themselves in women's garments. And St. Augustine adds, "As for anyone who preserves any pagan custom whatever, I much fear that the name Christian will scarce avail to save him." We celebrate the Feast of the Circumcision of our Lord every year on the 1st of January. If you enjoyed this legend, please click the like button and subscribe, and be sure to turn on all notifications. That way you will never miss out on any of our new uploads. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless.